Alrighty, good evening, everybody. We're thrilled to have y'all here for the second part in our series of our Road to Rowan SOM, where we're here to learn a little bit about the different support services and resources that make Rowan SOM the great place that it is. We're joined by a lot of really important folks here today. We're joined by two representatives from our CTL office, Miss Farron Speaks and Miss Stephanie Dearden. And we're joined today as well by Dean Jackie Jacoby, who's going to tell us a little bit more about academic accommodations and a lot of the great things that come out of her shop. I'm also joined by two wonderful colleagues from the admissions office, Miss Sarah Ramick. Sarah, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everyone. It's thank you all for virtually being here. I was gonna say it's great to see you, but
Virtually see, it's all right.
yeah,
Um,
virtually.
and we're also joined by Dean Paula Watkins, who is going to be here to start the party and kind of give some welcoming remarks before we head into the session. We have a great continuation of the series planned for you tonight. Lots of really great and talented folks here. So without further ado, let me just switch over to Paula so she can give us a nice warm welcome.
Thanks, John, and thank you, Sarah. Hi, everybody. It's so great to know that you're here. We want to thank Dean Jackie Jacoby and Farron Speaks and Stephanie Dearden for being here today. You know, this series is designed to really give you an insight into what you can anticipate as you start medical school and all the resources available to you in medical school. These folks are extremely important. They are your faculty. They're they're going to be obviously professional staff members that'll help you navigate medical school. It's important for you to get to know them. And we're really glad they're going to take the time to share with you some of the resources they offer. So I'm happy to know that you're here. Some of you are back. We're excited. This is designed to really connect you with the institution and our Rowan SOM family in an effort to really get you started on the right foot to medical school. So without further ado, I'll turn this back over to John, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Dean Watkins. So ladies, I wonder, where do we want to start? Do we maybe want to start with Dean Jacoby and the academic accommodations, or do we want to start with CTL?
I'm good with either. I don't know if I could share my screen, John. Can I do that?
I
Or
think you should be able to. Let me just make sure.
it's saying to share is grayed out, so I don't know if
I'm
oh, now I'm a
switching
presenter.
presenter.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. Is it
Uh,
easier for me to navigate for you though, or do you?
no, I think I can do it
Okay.
if I can get it. If I can get it there. Screen one, screen two. Oh boy. Perfect. Okay. There we go. I'm not used to using the web-based version of this, so I'm going to start the slideshow. So there we go. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to echo what Dean Watkins said. I'm Jackie Jacoby. I am the Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs and Accreditation, and I also want to welcome everybody, give you a really warm welcome. We're really excited to see you here today and help you learn about our school and my department in particular. I'm actually pretty passionate about, well, admissions for one. I've helped Paula over the years for admissions, and I've always been involved in admissions throughout my career. So I've always loved that aspect of higher education. But I'm also passionate about medical school and about our students and kind of helping them get through their medical training. I'm actually a counselor by training and a helper kind of by nature, right? So I really think of my job as a way of contributing not only to, the good of the larger society with producing, physicians for everyone to who needs care, but I'm also supporting students and helping them on an individual basis. So it kind of filled me on both of those levels. So it's been a wonderful ride, and you'll hear a little bit more. I've been in this field for quite a long time, pretty much my whole career, actually. So, my responsibilities have changed a little bit, but I really never have lost my connection with or, the enjoyment of working with students. And I think you'll find here to a person, pretty much everybody I ever talked to, everybody I interview, frankly, for a position here, they say the favorite thing about the jobs is working with students. And, they always keep us, it's always interesting. They're always fresh and new, and they just kind of keep us young. So we all really enjoy that aspect of our job. So that's why I'm so happy to be here. I also, as philosophically, I've always been a person who has, great respect for whomever I'm working with. So fortunately, I've always worked with really smart people. So I have great respect for everyone, but especially, for adults and really smart people who know what they want, know how to do it, or, just may need some tweaks and things like that. But I've always really respected people's opinions, students' opinions of how things should work and trying to help you and support you through the process in a way that works for you. And I'm sure, that, the other thing we've supported is when students have great ideas, they'll come here and maybe we can help facilitate things that they may want to pursue or things they may want to start, like a club or another elective or something like that. So it's a really great institution for that reason. And I want to assure you that, you can be here. When you get here, you can be involved as much or as little, but as much as you want. And when you get here, you'll be integrated into our school and our culture and, helping the institution become even better. So we really want you to come here, and we encourage you to come and make your mark and graduate from the institution and leaving it a better place because you were here. The biggest testament, I think, that we can give to the connection our students feel with the school is that so many of them return to teach our future students. It's always fun when we see our students coming back as, practicing positions out in the field now, and then they come back and now they're in the classroom teaching, future positions themselves. So it's always great because I know so many of them that are now here that I knew as students. So I was working with them then, and knew them on that level. And now I see them, we're working together as colleagues. So it's really great. And it's really, I think, it says something about the quality of the environment here that people want to come back and give back and be here and participate with this exciting educational environment, working with people who are aspirational and want to move up in their careers and learn more and become good doctors. So, I also will say that, the advantage of our school is that, while we're connected to a larger research institution, we started out, Paula and I were both here, she was here even before me. It was a very small school within the institution, within, in DNJ. So we kind of had that mindset of like maybe a small liberal arts college, even though we're not undergraduate school. But we were always a little bit more nimble, more flexible, and kind of better able to respond and kind of evolve with the changing educational needs, like social needs and mental health needs of our students. So it's always been a great institution from that respect too. I think, as I mentioned, encouraging students to pursue things they're interested in, but also allowing the staff and faculty to pursue projects and things that are relevant and helpful for students, but giving us the freedom to do that because we are a little bit more responsive and flexible. So with that said, I just again wanted to speak to you today to give you a kind of a warm hello, so you know who I am, and to tell you, and you have a face with the name, and to tell you that one thing students often fear when they come in is when you're accepted, that I wanted to reassure you that you belong here. We're glad you're here. A lot of students come in, they worry like, oh no, okay, what happens? I'm excited I'm here, but now what happens when I start medical school? You were admitted, so you belong here. We want you to realize that and fully grasp that. And that when you matriculate, you're going to be seen, you're going to be heard, and you're going to be able to find people here and help here when you need it. So that's just my little plug for the institution in general. So I'll just give you a really quick overview of what I do. Hopefully it's not too boring because it's interesting to me because I'm in the weeds of it, but I'm kind of a wonk that way. But I'll try to just kind of gloss over a little bit the things that I'm basically responsible for or what I'm involved with. So basically, academic affairs very broadly encompasses a lot of departments. And not to say that I'm in charge of all these departments, I am not, but the academic affairs very broadly encompasses all these departments. So the basically are responsible for the entire educational operation from the moment you step in the door to the moment you begin your careers and even really beyond. So you could say admissions, student affairs, curriculum, assessment, testing, simulation, registrar, CTL, GME, and CME. So it's really your whole continuum of your academic training. But basically we have, excuse me, I'm fighting a cold here, responsibility for the academic planning, the budgets, the personnel, the career development, curricular issues, program development, assessment, and of course, accreditation. So we all work very closely and very collaboratively from the dean, literally upstairs, to the people, the staff, and the faculty, and everyone on the front lines to try to help and develop our institution and continually make it better. So with my specific role within the sort of subunit, these are all kind of subunits of academic affairs. So within my sort of subunit of academic affairs, basically my role involves developing and disseminating policy. So when you have academic rules and regulations, you have to get this GPA to maintain a, whatever status and to maintain a certain grade. So those kinds of things. and policies like even like snow days kinds of things. I'm involved in those sorts of things. But again, as an educational operation, we are continually collaborating and evaluating everything we do. So every time we start a new program or develop a new curriculum, we have evaluation processes in place to make sure we're always looping back and making sure that we're doing things appropriately, it's effective, and then we're tweaking things when we have to. So it's a continuous loop of quality improvement, which I'm really proud of. I think that's a great thing about an institution like ours. But basically, the whole list of departments, the subunits that I showed you, we're all here really to facilitate, services and troubleshoot issues for our undergraduate students, from academics to support, coursework, laptops, software, summer programs, match day and graduation to your residency program applications, and then even alumni services. We're basically a whole team of people who make up these departments who are here to help and support and assist you guys, the medical students. The whole people are here to help you deal with, the issues and the transitions you have and help you solve problems so that you can focus on your education, getting the best education you can and becoming the most knowledgeable doctor you can be. Okay. My personal background is, I've been in medical education for 25 years. I worked at I worked at Penn in the city for a handful of years, and then I worked at their Wharton School, and I also have been in higher ed for years beyond that. So I came to Rowan-SOM, which used to be University of Medicine and Dentistry of New Jersey, for those of you who may remember it. And I started here actually as the kind of the lone cognitive skills center person. So I was the lone academic support person here. But over the years, as our class size increased and the students really began to appreciate and take advantage of the resources our office could offer, our center grew. And now we have a large staff who you'll hear from in a few minutes, a very talented staff. And I've turned it over to a very talented Lisa Cardello and her team to provide additional academic support for our increased class size, provide additional resources as far as careers and guidance in terms of, your overall career plan. So it's been a really great ride. And like I said, my responsibilities specifically have changed, but it's still largely touching all of those aspects of the educational process and operation. Specifically, I handle 3 main projects year-round, constantly. They're continually going. First is disability services. So just in a nutshell, Rowan as an institution and Rowan-SOM specifically, we're all very committed to providing this great inclusive environment so that you feel comfortable. And we want to provide equal opportunity, of course, for all qualified applicants who come into medical school. We really, actively collaborate with students to develop kind of innovative ways we can make the curriculum more accessible if it is not for whatever reason. So we are very careful to kind of ensure that everything that we do and all the curricular options we have are accessible for students, and that we develop kind of a respectful culture and a supportive culture. So like I said, we use an interactive process to work with students individually even, and then we also try to make the process very seamless for you. So if a student needs an accommodation, we'll work with them on the process, determine what needs to be done, and then facilitate the whole application of whatever accommodations the student needs. So we'll kind of operationalize that for you again, so that you don't take your eye off the ball. We'll handle it for you. We'll help you through it, and so that you can focus on your education. So any student, current or prospective student who thinks they may want to have an issue or thinks they have an issue or want to discuss these things, feel free to contact my office. We're always here, and I'll give you my contact information at the end of the session. But we're always willing to talk to people. I've talked to many students 6 months before they even start. So please don't hesitate to do that. That's one of my big projects that I handle year round. And I always have a soft spot, and I've always been trained too in disability services and things like that. So I have a sort of side training. The second big project I'm involved with are the medical student performance evaluations. If any of you have family members that were in medicine, these used to be called the Dean's Letter. And just very, very briefly, it's a year-long project that we do every single year. And it's basically a letter that summarizes everything you've done since you've been here in medical school. So from your academics to your extracurriculars to your service opportunities, whatever you've participated in, this letter summarizes all of that. And it's a very important piece actually of your residency application that we work with you again, collaborate with the students to prepare these letters for each individual student that's graduating. And then we provide it to the residency program directors through ERAS, and we do that on your behalf. So, again, very collaborative process. We always take the students' involvement and words, and their input on all of these processes. So, but it's a very important piece, and it's something that you'll be working on from your first year. Really, you won't be working on the letter specifically, but all the things that will build the letter later on, you start to begin really in first year. So it's a very nice developmental kind of process, and you'll see that when you get here. So that's my other big project that goes on year round, and we're actually getting ready for our next match for our graduating class of 2022. So we're very excited about that next week. But then we're launching for the class of 2023. We're getting that ramped up right now as well. So again, continuous process. The other big part of my job is accreditation, and all your undergraduate schools were accredited, I'm sure, by Middle States or some other agency across the country. And medical schools have a different level of accreditation. Rowan University also has Middle States, but our medical schools have either the LCME, which is the allopathic version, or COCA, which is the Commission on Osteopathic Colleges. And so they are the ones that determine whether the osteopathic schools are meeting the nationally established standards for medical education. So, there's a peer-reviewed process, and everyone across the country who's involved in medical education agreed that certain standards are necessary to produce competent physicians. And these are the skills that are absolutely critical. So they established these standards, and every school has to go through the process to make sure that they're meeting those standards. So the accreditation is that process to go through to establish our compliance with all the accreditation standards. So to make sure that we're delivering the services we say we are, that we're producing productive members or, faculty, that our curriculum is achieving what it intends, which is, to produce knowledgeable physicians. So it's a very long ongoing process in and of itself. The accreditation process usually lasts 7 years, and then institutions must be reaccredited. So my role is basically to assemble all of that, all of the reports, all the data, all the evidence to show that we do what we say we do, and we're doing it at the level that we say we are. So my job is to kind of help assemble that, and then to present it along with everybody on the campus is involved in it, to show them that we're doing that. And we why is it important? Obviously, I don't want to belabor this, but I think it's important to kind of think about it from every constituent's perspective. For you guys, you want to know that we have a quality institution. For the public, everybody wants to know that we have competent physicians. I mean, we're all taxpayers in the area. It's important for graduates that they have a degree from a medical school that's been continuously accredited and fully accredited from day one. It's also important to our patients, naturally, who want doctors who can take care of them. And then it proves to COCA and to Middle States and to the U.S. Department of Education that we're meeting the rigorous standards of medical education. Because obviously, medical school is not meant to be easy. It's a tough road, and it's a lot of information, and there's a lot for you to know. And so they want to make sure that when we do that, we're delivering effective, a productive product. So, and the Department of Ed is really what allows students to borrow money for medical school. So it's important that we also get their approval as well. So it's a very long, arduous process, but I'm happy to report, I'm thrilled really to report that we just had our accreditation visit last year, and the outcome was decided in December. So we just learned a couple of months ago that we actually achieved accreditation at the highest level. It's accreditation with exceptional outcomes. So we're very excited and thrilled that the COCA saw that we are doing everything we say we are, well and above and beyond what we've even said. And so, or what they've read about us. So I think in their conversations with students, with faculty, with staff, everyone across the campus, when they did their site visits, they saw, and the evidence we presented, they saw that this is a quality institution, and we're really all very committed, and and doing everything we can to make sure our students are successful and that our education is the best it can be. So we are accredited technically for 10 years. So that was a big feather in our caps, and we're all very proud of that. And Paula and everyone pretty much involved in the campus community had a role in that process. So we're very proud of that. I say technically for 10 years though, because we have the Sewell location now, we will have to have a site visit sooner than 10 years. So I was a little a little a little bit of a damper on that excitement for 10 years, but it's still a good thing, and we're still happy to be growing and attracting more students and producing more doctors. So in short, some take-home points. I just want to reiterate, I've talked to many students who, before they came, and ultimately matriculated, they go to other schools when they're visiting and determining what school they want to go to. And they go to other schools and they come here like, wow, the feeling is just so much different here. It's other schools. I mean, literally they've described it as, dark and not, it's almost ominous when you go in, or, kind of not uplifting. They're not feeling like they're starting something new and exciting. But when they come here, students feel automatically, open and warm, and they feel like it's a welcoming environment. So I just want to reiterate that to you, that this is a warm environment. You will find the people and the things that you need here to succeed in medical school. And we, the staff and the faculty, are all very approachable and accessible. So we're always available, a phone call away, email away, even a stop by in the office, visit. So we're always here. So I really want to encourage you again to, feel free to reach out if you have any questions about the school or about my department or anything I've talked about. Please feel free. Here's my contact information and my office line. And I'm here now in Academic Center all the time. Maskless, yay, finally. So very happy to be here, and we're happy to have students come by. It's, we're still trickling in. They're starting to get back to normal, but we don't see too many students, so we're always happy to have people stop by as well. But even if you call my desk phone, it forwards to my cell. So we're always very accessible, and I hope you'll take advantage of that. And I hope you enjoy the series. I hope you enjoy your visits here. And again, feel free to reach out, and congratulations on your admission, and hope to talk to you soon, and good luck.
Thanks, Dean Jacoby. Do you want to stop here for a couple of questions just in case any come through?
I can certainly take questions. Yes, that's my next slide.
I'll keep an eye. I should have said this to start too, probably. Oh, she has a slide for it. Perfect. I should have said this too to start, but Sarah and I keep a pretty close eye on the chat. So if questions pop up, feel free to throw them in there throughout, and we're happy to kind of help navigate them. So I'll keep an eye on the chat feature now just to see if any come through.
Okay. I'll just go back to my email and phone so they can jot that down if they want to, or take a picture of it, I guess. What people can do nowadays.
I notice too, when I'm in a setting where I'm trying to write things down really fast, I'd rather just take a picture, because if my hand is shaky, I can still make it out on a picture that I can like write down.
Exactly. My handwriting is always the uncertain part. So yeah, I agree. Pictures.
Cool. All right, so then I think what we'll maybe do then is come back to questions at the end, because it looks like chat's pretty quiet right now. It looks like we covered just about everything.
Okay.
Cool.
So I hope that was helpful. And like I said, I'll hang around for a bit if any other questions come in.
Cool. Thanks, Jackie. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Center for Teaching and Learning. Our folks over from there host a bevy of important things. They handle advising, they handle our pre-matric program, but I'm going to turn over to the experts. So without further ado, I'd like to reintroduce Ms. Farron Speaks and Ms. Stephanie Dearden. Stephanie or Farron, do you all have a PowerPoint? Do you want me to switch over presenter pages? Cool.
Yes, please.
So let me make Farron the presenter. All right, you should be good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, hopefully everybody can see my screen. Perfect. All right, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this presentation. We thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And I just want to start off by saying congratulations on your acceptance. Getting into medical school is a huge accomplishment, something that you should be very proud of. All right, so my name is Farron Speaks. I am the Associate Director of the Center for Teaching and Learning, aka CTL. And I have my colleague here, Stephanie Dearden, who's presenting with me. on the support services that we offer here. Okay, so what is CTL? The Center for Teaching and Learning, our primary goals are to provide SOM students with academic support by providing guidance, resources, and services. So we are your academic advising center here at Rowan-SOM. And to achieve these goals, we work directly with students on both an individual and group basis. So Stephanie's going to get into some of the different programming and resources that we offer. But we do meet with students individually to work on their study habits, as well as on a group basis, doing workshops to help support academic success. So some of the services that we offer, as I mentioned, we offer academic and individual advising. So students, they come to us about everything. So not just their academic needs, but any questions that you have about medical school. If you need any guidance on who to go to about anything, our students come to us and we are happy to guide them in the right direction. So we always tell students that we're here to talk about academic and non-academic issues. We also offer career specialty and residency advising, and we also have a very highly utilized peer tutoring program. So we have a great staff in CTL. As Jackie mentioned, Lisa Cardello is our director, and she specializes in career and residency advising. We have 3 pre-clerkship advisors, so myself, Stephanie Dearden, and Kashana Corson. So we work with first and second year students. So we do pre-clerkship advising. We also help you with your COMLEX 1 preparation, so your licensing exam. And I coordinate the pre-matriculation program. And then Stephanie and Kashana, we all work together on academic success programming throughout the year. We also have Nicholas Latore. He works with our clerkship students, so that's 3rd and 4th year. He also helps with COMLEX Level 2 preparation and career counseling. We have Danielle Bear, who is our tutoring program coordinator. We have Terry Brown, who is our residency advisor. He reviews CVs and personal statements and guides students through the residency application process. And we have Colleen Tenuto, who is our CTL staff assistant.
So your CTL advisors, we're going to follow you through medical school, and Rowan-SOM is really unique because you'll have a designated advisor. Your needs are going to change year to year, and we have different advisors that are going to help you navigate them. We're really proactive about your success. So some of the things that we offer you during your 1st and 2nd years, that's the pre-clerkship years. So your pre-clerkship advisors, you're going to get to know them pretty well. As that we provide individual advising and coaching session. And we emphasize individualized because we understand that not everybody learns the same. Not all strategies are going to work for everyone. Not all resources are going to work for everybody. So what we do is we work with you to address your unique needs in a way that's going to make sense to you. Some examples, during your 1st year, you might meet with your pre-clerkship advisor to help you adjust to medical school. You're going to be taking in a lot of information at a fast pace with a finite amount of time. And so you can meet with your pre-clerkship advisor to go over learning strategies, study strategies. We help with time management, maintaining school and life balance, and so much more. The learning assessment and study skill inventory, this is something that's available to all students if you're interested in learning how you learn. It's very comprehensive or holistic. It's going to evaluate things like your motivation, anxieties, information processing. CTL also hosts a number of workshops. We do study skills workshops. You'll learn in medical school that studying needs to be active and it needs to be efficient. And to reach you as a group, we do study skills workshops, among other things that come up throughout the year. The Ctl Newsletter Letters and Motivational Mondays, they go out to students weekly, and this is our way of just reminding you, hey, we're here, we want to help. The Motivational Mondays are a fan favorite. We love to provide motivational quotes, but also give you tips and tricks for navigating the different blocks during med school. You can work with your pre-clerkship advisors on board prep. That might become more prevalent towards the end of first year and then definitely moving into second year. Board prep is preparing for your first licensing exam, and you can meet with us to come up with an initial plan, a study plan, talk about resources. We also host workshops focusing on board prep, so you'll learn about registration, talk to third-year students who have taken it. We also do a session on building study schedules. So that's for the board prep. CTL also hosts the tutoring program. Our tutoring is free and it's unlimited. It starts the first week of class and the first week of classes, and it covers all the major courses. And in your first year, you will get some career counseling and specialty advising. You can meet with us one-on-one to talk about shadowing, to talk about research opportunities, to look at that initial CV. Specifically during your first bridge week, so around the winter time, you'll get a presentation on summer opportunities, which really details how to find research, how to get into shadowing, and how to start reaching those goals that you're setting for yourself as you develop as a medical student. And then we keep following you into third year. We have our clerkship advisor, Farron mentioned Nick, and he will also provide individualized advising and coaching sessions. These could be around study strategies and stuff, but at this point, you're probably going to be focusing more on things like your level 2 exam, residency advising, specialty advising, and he can talk to you about all the resources surrounding that. He will also help you with board prep. You're going to be taking your level 2 or step 2, so he can sit and talk to you about exams, how to study, where to access those resources. Career counseling and specialty advising. When you're picking your specialty, you're getting into those clinical rotations, you're being exposed to the different fields. He's there to provide guidance. The residency application preparedness workshops. So he runs a ton of workshops, road to residency. He'll walk you through the whole process from beginning to end and then do individual advising. Nick has Ctl Newsletters as well. This is just another way to remind you, that we're here to keep in communication. He'll offer tips and strategies and reminders. If you feel like you want to practice for your residency interviews, the whole process, we do mock interviews. I mean, the clerkship years really get involved with that residency application, that your clinical rotations, moving towards that specialty. And then the clerkship years, you'll also be supported with those MSPE evaluations that we mentioned. You'll be assigned an advisor who can work with you through the process as your letter develops. What do you want it to say? What you want it to like how you want your medical school career highlighted.
All right. Sorry, the presentation keeps jumping. So the Pre-Matriculation program, it is an educational program specifically designed to facilitate the academic, social, and environmental adjustment of incoming SOM students. It addresses the need of students who may benefit from an intensive introduction to the medical curriculum. So medical school is going to be unlike any academic experience. So even some of the strategies and resources that you use in undergrad or even grad school may not work in medical school, and we're going to need to adjust that. So we use the program to identify some challenges, both in individual as well as a group level. We cover major concepts in anatomy, biochem, histo, micro, osteopathic manipulative medicine, path, and physiology. And there's also a PBL track. So we have an SGL track and we have a PBL track. And the PBL track is for all the students that have already been accepted into the PBL curriculum. It also familiarizes students with medical terminology and some metacognitive aspects such as study, learning skills, test-taking strategies, etc. All right, so the program duration is 3 weeks. It will be from June 13th through July 1st. And I saw a question. The program, we are scheduled to hold it in person. We definitely are going to follow all COVID protocols, so we'll be watching that closely. But as of today, we are scheduling to have that in person. Classes are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily with a lunch hour at 12 p.m. Some days you will leave earlier, so not all days you'll be leaving at 5 p.m., but for the most part, those are the typical hours. The daily schedule is comprised of workshops, lectures, clinical cases, small group activities, and self-study time. So the big difference, of course, between SGL and PBL, in SGL, we're going to introduce you to, like I said, those major topics in a lecture style. So you'll have teaching assistants who are highly qualified, rising second year students who are going to come in and teach the material to you. We also have designated faculty members that come in and give lessons as well. So you'll get used to their learning style. And for the PBL curriculum, you'll actually be doing mock clinical cases. So the purpose of the pre-matriculation program is to give you a preview, to prepare you for first year before it really counts. So any of the kind of jitters or nerves that you have, not knowing what to expect, we're going to give you that preview during this 3 weeks. So in the PBL curriculum, you actually come in, you'll have cases, and you'll get to create learning issues from those cases. And the next day you'll come in and you'll present those learning issues to your classmates, just like you will during the curriculum. So it's a great experience for students. It allows you to get used to some of the technology that you'll be using. You'll get exposed to the curriculum. You'll meet classmates and establish those long-lasting relationships early on in the summer and continue with those relationships into the school year. So we hear very great ratings about the program. I recommend it for everyone to get that kind of preview before you come in. We do have assessments during the program. So for our SGL curriculum, we have weekly quizzes. So we have a quiz at the end of the week. We have 2 quizzes. They're worth 30%, so 15% each. And then we have a cumulative exam at the end of the program worth 70%. And then the PBL curriculum, we have 1 exam, just like it is during the semester. You have 1 exam, and you also have an evaluation that is a part of your grade as well. So we call that class participation. That's 30% of your grade. And we do that so we evaluate you as you're going through those clinical cases, how much you're participating, what type of questions that you're asking, again, to give you that preview before coming in. And just like Jackie said, you've been accepted. That means you belong here. So it's not a question of, can I do this, right? Will I make it? The question to ask is the how. And CTL and everybody here at Rowan-SOM, we're here to help you figure out the how. All right. So I definitely, I recommend this program, like I said, to everyone. If you have any specific questions about the daily schedule, please feel free to reach out to us. But it's a great exposure for students before coming in. We also do some activities outside of school, so it's not all work and no play. Again, we want you to establish that balance. So how will I tackle club involvement as well as studying for my courses? We want to give you a feel for that during this summer program. So we definitely recommend registering with us and joining us for this 3-week program. And here, Stephanie and I's contact information. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that we talked about or the pre-matriculation program in general, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll put the registration link in the chat. So hopefully encourage some students to sign up so you can go ahead and click on that link to register for the program.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, y'all. We have a couple questions coming through the chat too that I've taken some note of. Let me start from the top. Okay, we got a question. Hang on, let me see. Can students gain access to the study skill inventory and learning assessment tools prior to starting at SOM?
We give it to everyone in pre-matric. So that's a good opportunity, again, to learn your learning style, to get used to some of the resources. And then we offer it to everyone else who didn't participate during the summer.
Okay. Oh, this is a good question. So for students who might be located at the Sewell campus, will there be a pre-matric program at Sewell, or it's going to be mainly at the Stratford campus?
We're going to have sessions at the Sewell campus, but we are going to come together as a group, for orientation and different activities outside of the classroom. But we are going to have sessions, PBL sessions at both campuses, yes.
Cool. Orientation begins July 1st?
Orientation begins, let me get my calendar, July 11th. So you'll have a week between the program ends July 1st, and you'll have a week between the end of the program and orientation.
Okay, we have the application for pre-matric in there. Do students get some kind of like confirmation email that they've gotten everything signed up for pre-matric? Like, is there any kind of is there like a lead into it, I guess?
So after you complete the registration through Qualtrics, you'll get the thank you. That means you're registered. And then leading up to the program, we'll start sending you welcome emails, anything that we need you to complete before the start. You'll start getting those emails closer to the beginning.
Cool. Oh, here's a good one. How much does the services in CTL cost?
It's absolutely free, of course.
Free is for me. Yeah, to all the resources that we're going through today are the goal of any institution worth its salt is to give their students everything that we can to help them succeed. So the things that we're talking about today, they're here for you. If we want to get super technical, they're probably in your student fees somewhere, but they're here for you. We're here and we're happy to guide you on your way to greatness. That's what we do. We have a couple other questions in the Q&A. Let me go through those. This is a good question too. So, student noticed that CVs were mentioned pretty significantly. Can you speak to their importance in medical school and when they might be used?
Absolutely. So one of the sessions, I don't know, Jackie, did you want to speak to this? Because I know you're in that session in Bridge Week.
Sure. No, go ahead. I mean, we can both do.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So just like Jackie mentioned about your medical school performance evaluation, we'd like to get that process started in first year. So when you're in first year, you're going to be volunteering. There's going to be opportunities for research. So we want you to start building that CV early. And one of the presentations that we have during Bridge Week, which will be at the end of your fall semester, we have a CV template, and we talk to you about what should be included in your CV, what can you leave out, all in preparation for even when you start reaching out for research opportunities. A lot of times they want your CV. So we hope get started with building that, but ultimately we're going to use that CV when you start applying for residency.
Exactly. And it really is sort of the building block for the residency application. Our template kind of mirrors the ERAS application that's called the residency application service. So it mirrors that. So when you're working on your CV, you're essentially almost completing your residency application at the same time. So that's why we do encourage students to work on it sooner, beginning in first year, and you'll slowly build it over the years. So yeah, and it is used for other purposes throughout medical school.
And then this is a good piggyback. To go off that, when is it recommended for students to start getting involved in extracurricular activities?
Students begin right away. We tell them not to go too far. So you're going to get a lot of interesting clubs presented to you. So we usually recommend maybe getting involved in 2 or 3, maybe a couple of leadership opportunities. Some students kind of take it slower. They were like, okay, I want to learn how to kind of do medical school before I jump in. So the opportunities are always there. So you can definitely use your judgment or meet with your CTL advisor, and we can walk you through that process.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's important not to oversubscribe yourself and, to do a broad array of things. We try to encourage students to find things that are really meaningful to them and that fit in with, their ultimate goals, ideally. But, there are also some sort of special interest groups like a music group and, things like that students can do and follow to burn off stress and things like that too. So, but again, we do encourage them to start slowly and, kind of dip their toe in the water and to make sure they can manage the the level or the work of medical classes. So
The classes for pre-matric, are they Monday to Friday? Yep.
Yes, Monday through Friday.
Oh, this is one we can probably even do as a round robin if we wanted to. A student asked, what words of advice would we have for an incoming medical student?
I would say uh, um, trust the process, and believe you belong here. Because, you know, we do have students who come in with some doubts and concerns, right? You've never done medical school before, but we're here to support you. So you trust the process, you reach out for help. I know that's not always easy to do, but we're here to support you. So utilize the resources, trust the process. And if you were admitted, that means you're meant to be here, and that means you can already do it.
And I was going to say the second one, make sure you take advantage of all the things that we have here for you. We've all spent years, working on these things and perfecting our services and working with students over the years. So it's, all the trial and error from our perspective has been worked out. We can kind of guide you right through the process if you're willing to work with us. But it is true. I know it's hard to ask for help sometimes, and many times students coming into medical school are very high achievers and never really needed help. So then, to reverse themselves and and have to go and seek help can be a bit of a change for them, so a bit of an adjustment. So we do want to encourage you, though, to not be afraid to reach out, So that would be my words of advice.
Dean Watkins, Stephanie, anything?
Yeah, I'll just jump in on that. I think the theme between the two is just that you're not alone. Everybody here at Rowan wants to see you be successful. You belong here, and we are ready to help you through your medical school journey.
Yeah, I guess I would simply say, just remember, what motivated you to become a physician in the first place. That passion, that drive, that commitment that the decision that you made, and utilize your resources that'll help you get through the next 4 years, so that you can succeed. We've all seen all these amazing medical students go into residency and practice. And so that's you in a few years. And just literally, keep that passion, and use your resources.
Sarah, did we cover everything you would say?
Yeah, I think that covered everything.
Okay, here's a new question. Is there anything resource or textbook wise that they would need coming into pre-matric?
No, we provide everything for you. Again, we want you to use it as a preview. So we don't want you purchasing anything that might not be useful for you. So our TAs provide resources to you. The library website, we have resources for you as well. So we want you to try things out. Try this textbook, try this video series and see if it works for you. And again, we can guide you through whether or not we feel like you might want to purchase that for the school year.
And one thing I've heard that the library does a really great job of too is having a lot of the textbooks there. So even when you start as a student, if you need to like utilize them from our own library, we typically have them. But I guess this is a little bit of echoing what everybody said. There's lots of resources here. There are lots and lots of things that Rowan SOM has. I might have made this joke at the last session. The one thing we don't have though is a crystal ball. So we don't always know the kind of things that you need. So if you need help with something, ask. I guess this is my own response for a piece of advice. Ask and you will find here. There's tons of resources. You might not be asking the right person. You might not be in the right office, but it probably exists. So keep asking questions. We're a small school. We know each other pretty well. We can get you where you need to be. I'm taking a look. I don't see any other questions. Let's see if there's anything new. Okay. I'm not seeing any additional questions or anything like that. Do we have any final thoughts that we want to impart before maybe calling it a close for tonight?
There was a question in the chat.
Yeah, did you see Jessica's question?
Jessica, I wrote back to it in the Q&A, I believe. Oh,
Got it.
Will
Okay.
pre-matric be on the transcript?
Just that you participated, but not an overall grade.
Cool. And what day does school begin this year?
So orientation, orientation is July 11th through the 15th, and then classes will start on July 18th.
At some point, will you be covering room and board options? Yeah, so that's going to be in one of the later sessions in the series where we'll talk a little bit about the different things you should be working on with getting your apartment. If you have questions in the meantime, though, you can always reach out to us in the admissions office. We can help steer you in the right direction. Do you have access to the library on campus during pre-matric? Oh yeah, so Farron, would they have access to the resources on the library? Would be like open during the summer for pre-matric, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can also access it from anywhere, with Wi-Fi. So there's many, many resources that are available electronically, and you can do keyword searches. So those are that's all the beauty too of, the electronic age and just having all those resources at your fingertips, no matter where you are.
And then we got one more. Just want to verify that there is a week after pre-matric and before orientation, and pre-matric it's free of cost.
Yes.
Yep. Are there resources on campus for students who have families?
There has been a club of students. It was self-formed, student-formed club for medical students who had significant others and children and things like that. I'm not sure if it's currently active, but it is something that, again, students initiated themselves when they saw a need. So that would be one of those areas where, if there's not one presently, there certainly could be, and we'd be more than happy to help you get something like that off the ground if need be, and even help facilitate it if necessary.
And I'll piggyback too. We do have a food pantry on campus, so if your family or yourself are ever in a state of like food insecurity, we do have those kind of resources on campus.
Yeah.
We have, there are a lot of great different resources that we do have on campus, depending on what you need. Again, ask and you'll find. All right, let's see if I missed any other questions. Chat looks pretty updated. Let's check the Q&A. If students are required, if they were admitted with pre-matric, is there a specific registration link they need? Like, is there anything special they have to do, or just the same one?
The same link.
Same link? Okay, cool. But they would sign up for it still through that link.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Are we able to visit in person before school starts? We're actually working on a tour visit schedule right now, so hang tight. We should probably have that out in the next couple of weeks. Let me see, any other questions? All right, I think we're pretty caught up. All right, so then what I'll do is I'm going to put, if we don't mind again, I guess if we can just take a second and put our emails in the chat. I'll put mine. Then I'll just take another second to say thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight. The weather's getting beautiful, so I hope we have a chance to enjoy it before it possibly rains or snows this Saturday. So if you get a chance outside, enjoy it. This is only the second part in the series. We have a couple other sessions coming up throughout the next couple of weeks, so just be on the lookout for them. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We're here and we're happy to help. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a good night.
Well, welcome. Can't wait to meet you all. Take care.
Bye,
Good night.
everyone. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye, everyone.